The Hatter writes, "What happens after the awakening?" The Hatter bathed and cleansed the day's aches away. Steam curled through the candlelight, and tiny motes of gold rose with each sigh she released. She tended to her body with care and love, anointing her skin with oils that smelled faintly of lavender and starlight, thanking her hands, her heart, her breath. For days, something had been stirring in her mind, a quiet hum of truth that wanted a voice. So, out of the bath, lighter, clearer, hair still damp and wrapped in a strawberry pink pixie fluff blanket, she padded barefoot across the floor, lit a small candle at her desk, and took quill to parchment. As she wrote, the air seemed to shift. Time loosened its grip. Reality softened at the edges, and that familiar warmth of inner wonderland began to hum beneath her ribs. It doesn't matter how much you're of service to others. They have to choose for themselves. The words form themselves on the page, glowing faintly gold. Each of us is doing the same work, just at different times, in different ways. She smiled softly, because she could almost hear the echo of every other soul doing the same. Writing, healing, remembering, just in their own rhythm. When people wake up, she thought, they often go through lists and lessons, rituals and reckonings, seeking to be more awake, more conscious, more enlightened. But then what? The circle always comes back around, back to self. Only now, you're lighter, more alive, carrying wisdom instead of weight, tools instead of burdens, and translations of the truth you've always lived. She dipped her quill again and whispered to the flame, "I was once told my job was to heal others, to save, to fix, to hold the world together. But that's not my duty." The candle flickered knowingly. "I'm not a light worker," she said softly. "I am light." A light being in a human body. A light bearer, not a laborer. Her task was to be light, to be love, to be kindness, to be consciousness, not to enforce healing, but to embody wholeness, to be the quiet invitation rather than the loud instruction, to radiate rather than rescue. The candle flame shimmered pink for a moment, as if in agreement. Then a softer knowing flowed through her hand. She began to write about what happens after the awakening. Because yes, after the bliss, the bells, and the "I've found it" moments, after all the cosmic highs and crystal nights, the dishes still pile up, the bills still arrive. And that's okay. That's life. That's where awakening becomes living. She smiled again, remembering she'd always been awake, in her own way. Since birth, perhaps. She'd trusted the universe, believed in magic and moonlight, sprinkled pixie dust into ordinary days. She had always loved herself, seen herself, known she was radiant and worthy, even when others couldn't see it. But now, she loved them a little less, not from judgment, but from clarity, because she could see the unconscious loops, the choices made from fear, the hurt dressed as power. Not everyone, of course. Many still shone with love, awareness, and heart. But she no longer poured her light into shadows that refused to see. Instead, she held steady, knowing that even illusion has its place in the awakening. The feeling of love and kindness, of conscious and aware living, is alive and pulsing now, and the physical world is simply catching up. And as she wrote, the candlelight grew bright enough to reveal a shimmer behind her reflection, the faint outline of her own aura, unfolding like wings. She realized she had to live and experience what she had always known, so that truth could bloom from belief into actualization, so that magic could anchor in matter, so that there could be no doubt of life, of love, of the everyday enchantment that breathes through all things. The ink swirled, glowing softly, each word alive, each sentence a spell, each breath bridging worlds. Her spirituality no longer looked like striving. It looked like breathing starlight into the ordinary, like gratitude whispered to teacups, like laughter with friends who spoke soul, like noticing how love hums quietly beneath everything. She no longer wanted millions. She wanted meaning. Not mass production, but hand-touched, heart-made, soul-infused creation. Natural, tangible, living magic. When she finished, she blew gently across the parchment. The ink shimmered, then sank into stillness. Her shoulders softened. Her body sighed, and she smiled. Because she finally understood. Awakening was never the end. It was a return, a remembering. a coming home. Wiser, freer, still human, and still a little wild. Because being, truly being, is the most healing act of all. With love, Teresa the Hatter,